Today we're talking about wooing customers to increase retention and cross-sell, upsell opportunities. Now, this is a subject that's very near and dear to my heart. Being in marketing, I've very much focused on getting net new customers and making sure that we're bringing those in so that we always have pipeline, that sales teams are constantly fed with leads and so forth. But as my career has progressed, a lot of my focus has been also on taking care of the existing customer and making sure that they know that they are valued, that they have priority, and that they creating an environment where they want to stay with us and they don't want to go to a competitor because we're treating them so well and they're getting their needs serviced by us. So, but it's not the case in a lot of companies. A lot of companies focus on the net new customer base and without putting a lot of priority on the existing customers. And a lot of this comes down to, I think, an old way of thinking is that customers are loyal and they'll stay with you, or that if you have an install base that it's really hard to rip and replace. But things have changed. Customers have a shorter attention span. They don't have the same brand loyalty that they used to. And there are so many options today for anything that you're looking for. And so why should they settle with your company if they can get something, if the product is the same at another company? Why would they want to stay with you if they're not being treated well? And so if it comes down to that, then you need to reassess what you're doing and how you can improve that so your customers feel loved and they're getting that attention and that you're continually wooing them. I mean, it's kind of like a romantic relationship. If they just wooed you in the beginning and then were hands off, like, do you want to stay with someone who doesn't show you that love and doesn't make you feel appreciated? You wouldn't. You would probably leave. At least I would. So we're going to need to treat customers in that way. So I have a couple of tips on how to do that. The first one is, once you have signed a customer, you want to make the best first impression now that they have moved from prospect to customer. That first impression of them being a customer is the most important one. It isn't the only one, but it is most important because they should feel that love from the beginning. So in making a first impression, there's going to be a couple of people to do that. In order to do that, you're going to have to figure out who are all of the people that were involved with this deal. Was there a decision maker, an influencer, the user, all of the different components of the people that exist in this new customer base, and send them all emails. At the simplest is sending them emails. It'd be great if you can send them a care package of some sort, but create emails for each one of those personas and automate that in your systems, whether it's coming from your CRM, your customer success database or automation program, marketing automation, it doesn't matter. But make sure that these are set up so as soon as somebody signs the contract, they're getting the email that they need in order to access the things that they have purchased. So this includes messages directly for each one of those audiences. It should include contact information, any portals that you have available, how do they get into those, all of the resources you have available to them as a customer. Just kick it off with that so they have all of that up front. Don't make them ask for it. Don't send it a week later. Send it like immediately after you sign the contract so that they have what they need and they feel like they're already getting value. The second tip is to hold regular office hours. So tip 3 is going to be similar to this, but in number 2 is if you are holding regular office hours for customers so that it's not just one-on-ones, it's an open forum for these customers. You can do roadmap sessions, you can talk about specific features and how they work, you can get customers comfortable with your product, and then they can come and also ask questions for you. So a good way to start this off is make sure that you set up a regular cadence, either every 2 or 3 weeks. Don't go for monthly because that's a little bit, that seems like a long time, especially for existing customers who are getting up to speed with using your product. Hold these office hours every 2 to 3 weeks. Even ask them, send them an email or a survey like a week ahead of time so you know what content to include. But ask them for suggestions. What do you guys want us to cover in these sessions? And these are high value sessions. They're not like your webinars that you would put out and have any prospect attend. These should be office hours that are specific to the product or a problem somebody's having or how to optimize for something. It will also introduce you or introduce the customer to this other functionality that may not be using, so they get more embedded in the product. And it also gives you an opportunity to constantly have your logo and your company name in front of them so that they don't lose memory of you, and that you're reinforcing your brand, so you're creating even more brand affinity, which is something that's a constant through a lot of my content. The next tip, number 3, is continue the courtship. So this means setting up regular one-to-one meetings. Don't wait. This is a pet peeve of mine, is do not wait until 2 to 3 months before a subscription to set up one-on-ones. Like, customers will see through that. They will know that you are just calling because you want their money in 2 to 3 months and you don't want them to skip town and go to somebody else. So set up those one-on-one meetings on a regular basis. And when you set these up, it shouldn't be, here, we're going to talk about this new feature, this new functionality, because that's like constantly selling them, right? You just want to go in and have a nice conversation with them, make sure you're writing notes about, who they are and what they do, kind of like your dentist does, where they write notes and then they ask you about stuff later, like that kind of stuff. So it's more personalized and like you care about them as a person, not just, a paycheck. Also, make sure you're sharing any content with them that is relevant. So giving them information, not just about the product itself, but, do you have a white paper? Do you have something, like a blog that your CEO wrote on some topic and some vision that they had? Send that to them. Make sure that they are continuing to learn, that you are keeping them abreast of things that's happening with the company, and don't make it always salesy or marketing or anything like that. Thought leadership is really appreciated because that broadens their education base. And then hold a user conference. I mean, now that events are back, like, people still love to engage, and having a user conference that's focused on specifically your user and not just going to, some rando event that they could or couldn't get value out of. Like, these people have purchased your product, they're getting value. They probably want to talk to, the people that create the product or learn more about the roadmap, those types of things. So a user conference is a great way to do that. Even if you do it in person or virtually, those are all great. And the fourth one is reduce friction at all engagement points. And this one is, okay, I have a lot of pet peeves, but this is a big one, because what I see a lot of times is that customers have to hunt for things that they want. So you should be reducing your friction, like making your portal easy to find. Put that on your website so customers can get into it. Within the portal, making sure that the content that they're looking for is up and front and center, so they don't have to go hop through it and try to figure things out. If you have telemetry, if you're collecting telemetry on your user portal, you should be able to determine what people are using most often and highlight that in the beginning, so that you're reducing the amount of times that they have to click in the portal to find what they need. This also means reducing friction. If you have webinars or anything like that, make sure you're using something where they don't have to constantly enter their contact information to get something, because they already are getting value from you. They've already given you money for the product. Don't make them work for more. Don't make them give you more content. You already have their contact information. You shouldn't be asking for it again. This includes content, webinar access, anything else that they should be accessing. If you're capturing the telemetry and you're capturing the user data, you should be able to tell. And if you're not, put something in place so that you know that Joe Schmo from company ABC came in at this time and downloaded this white paper out of the portal, and you're good to go. You've seen his usage, you can track that. So don't make customers work more than they have to. And those are my 4 tips for how to woo a customer and how to keep them so that you can increase retention and upsell opportunities. If you have any questions, ping me on my website, my email. I'd love to talk. I'd love to chat. Thanks. Bye.